What's going on everyone? Jammers here back with another Street Fighter V video. And this video here is a continuation video in the matchup breakdown series where I discuss some important points regarding all of Mika's matchups in Street Fighter V. I recently hit 3,000 subscribers on the channel, so just wanted to take this time and say thanks for supporting the channel, it is very much appreciated. So we've gone over 17 matchups so far, all of which you can find on my YouTube channel. But for our next video, let us take a look at how our 7-colored bomber fares against the ninja in training, Ibuki. First and foremost, this topic we will be covering is pretty standard at this point, and that is how Ibuki goes about punishing dropkick. The first option you are seeing here is Ibuki's back medium punch. Back medium punch is a pretty simple solution when it comes to dealing with the dropkick, as it basically knocks Mika out of the animation and resets the situation to neutral. Think of this move as some sort of deterrent. Now with the correct spacing and timing, if Ibuki hits Mika with the first hit of the back medium punch, then it will cause her to float, allowing Ibuki to follow up. She will most likely do either Rider, her hit grab, or Kazekiri, her kick move. This option you don't see too often, but it's useful nonetheless. The next solution you are seeing here is Ibuki's standing hard kick. Standing hard kick is the go-to crush counter option Ibuki has, in which when it connects, leaves Mika in an airborne spinning state. The follow-ups from the crush counter standing hard kick are straightforward ones. Ibuki can either go for another standing hard kick to air reset Mika and continue her pressure from there, or she can cancel into Rider or Kazekiri for better damage, but more importantly, Oki. Light Rider will grant the best Oki, but Kazekiri is the optimal ender in terms of damage. The final answer Ibuki has against Mika's dropkick is none other than her slide attack, Sazan. Sazan is a really effective method against the dropkick as it basically allows Ibuki to low profile the move entirely and get some sort of punish. Now Sazan has a ton of active frames, 11 to be precise, so if Ibuki manages to get it to connect on the last few active frames, then she can get a good conversion via her target combo and cancel into a special attack. So Rider, EX Kunai, you know, stuff like that. However, if Ibuki does the down forward medium kick earlier, then what will happen is instead of the move connecting on the latter active frames, the down forward medium kick will whiff completely, allowing Ibuki to recover way before Mika does and start a combo from a medium attack. Either way, this option isn't a bad one by any means. Overall, Ibuki is another character with low risk but highly rewarding answers against the dropkick. The second and third option are much safer to use than the first one, but the first one is still useful. Nevertheless, all these solutions lead into some good Oki for Ibuki. The second topic I will be discussing will always be a follow-up to the previous section, and that is how Ibuki goes about anti-airing Mika. The first answer you are seeing here is Ibuki's crouching hard punch. Crouching hard punch is Ibuki's normal attack anti-air, which needs to be done at a relatively close range for it to be consistent, and not to mention it has a great upwards hitbox. But unfortunately for Ibuki, crouching hard punch can lose to dive bomb. So if Ibuki relies on this option too much, then she should expect the body splash to beat it. The next anti-air option Ibuki can use is the one you saw earlier, and that is her backwards medium punch. Now back medium punch is usually Ibuki's go-to option when it comes to stopping aerial approaches, and Mika's jump-ins are no exception to this rule. And just like before, if the first hit of back medium punch anti-airs Mika, then it can cause her to float and allow Ibuki to get a follow-up. Ibuki should cancel into her light command dash and go for a light radar or even Vtrigger 2 if she has it. It does wonders when she anti-airs with this. Now just like crouching hard punch, back medium punch can lose to dive bomb as well. So if Ibuki isn't careful, then she'll get hit by the body splash. The final solution Ibuki may consider to anti-air Mika is using her standing hard kick. Standing hard kick is another one of Ibuki's normal attack anti-airs, which should be done at a relatively far range instead of a close range to not put Ibuki in any danger. It's actually really good against Mika's jumping hard kick. But if Mika switches things up by using the dive bomb, then it can beat out the standing hard kick. However, if done at a particular distance, then a standing hard kick won't get clipped by the dive bomb. Ibuki will recover before Mika does and be able to get some sort of punish. Ibuki's anti-air options are excellent against Mika's regular jump-ins, but unfortunately they all can lose to dive bomb. So when Mika takes to the skies, Ibuki has to be cautious of the body splash. As long as Ibuki has her spacing on point, dealing with Mika's aerial approach shouldn't be too difficult. Moving on to the third section, which is something that is quite important when it comes to the Ibuki matchup, and that is how Mika goes about dealing with Ibuki's V-Skill, Tenrai. Tenrai is an amazing V-Skill and is one of the best V-Skills in Street Fighter V. It has great utility and can be used more liberally than most other V-Skills in the game. It got a slight nerf in Season 4 of Street Fighter V, however, it still remains a great V-Skill. Now Ibuki has two versions of her V-Skill, the non-charge version and the charge version. The non-charge version has 15 frames of startup and is -7 on block, so it's pretty easy to punish. Whereas the charge version has 25 frames of startup and is -2 on block. This move is pretty similar to Mika's Dropkick, minus the frame data. The first way Mika can go about punishing this V-Skill is by using her crouching hard kick. Crouching hard kick has a lot of active frames, 8 to be precise, and has decent range for a situation like this. This is the weakest option against the V-Skill, but probably the safest. Mika can space herself pretty far away and catch the hurtbox of the V-Skill to get a knockdown. The next solution Mika can use against Tenrai is by using the classic option EX Shooting Peach. With the combination of startup and the armoured properties, this makes EX Peach an extremely reliable option against Ibuki's V-Skill. Since this option is quicker than crouching hard kick, Mika can use this in a more reactionary sense. Not to mention it travels a fair distance, so it will definitely catch the V-Skill. Try not to use EX Shooting Peach too late though, otherwise Ibuki's V-Skill will connect counter hit and you don't want that. Another way Mika can whiff punish the V-Skill is by doing standing hard punch into heavy shooting Peach. Now this method is a more damaging meterless one, but requires you to have immaculate spacing, because you literally have to stand just outside Tenrai's range. If Mika wants to net more damage, then she can just cancel into EX Shooting Peach instead. It costs meter, yes, but it will help out in the long run. One final thing to note is that if Mika has Vtrigger 1 available, then she can use it to freeze time and help punish Ibuki's V-Skill. To get a proper punish, Mika will need at least 1 bar so that the EX Peach can start things off. This is one of the ways Mika can utilize her V-Trigger in this matchup and is a situational punish. It's quite easy to do, but still takes a bit of practice. Overall, Mika has some pretty good solutions to Ibuki's V-Skill, all of which score Mika a knockdown. Do keep in mind though, that when punishing Ibuki, you actually give her more V-meter than what she intended to get in the first place. The fourth point being mentioned is another thing that is imperative when it comes to the Ibuki matchup, and that is what Mika shouldn't do when Vtrigger 2 Fuma Shuriken is available for Ibuki. Fuma Shuriken was introduced in Season 3 of Street Fighter V, along with a whole bunch of other V-Triggers, in which it completely gave a whole new meaning to the word utility when it comes to Ibuki's V-Triggers. Has great mix-up potential, is a 2-bar V-Trigger, but more importantly, still gives Ibuki that strong comeback factor. So when Ibuki has Vtrigger 2 at the ready, Mika should try not to dropkick. If she attempts the fully charged version, then Ibuki can use her V-Trigger to knock Mika out of the air and get a really damaging follow-up. She needs Mika to do this though, however. Another thing Mika needs to be careful of doing is jumping. If Mika goes for a jump attack, then again, Ibuki can launch the shuriken upwards to knock Mika out of the air and get a pretty punishing combo, which again needs resources to make it count. If Ibuki does the upward shuriken too late, then Mika's jump-ins will beat it. Remember, the V-Trigger has no invincibility. One final thing to mention is that Mika needs to be careful taking risks with certain moves. Take EX Peach or command throws for example. When Mika uses EX Shooting Peach, it's usually to punish something or interrupt certain block strings. And with command throws, it's usually to take the opponent closer to the corner or go for the stun or the KO. Now if Ibuki has Vtrigger 2 available, she will most likely try to avoid a command throw or bait Mika into using EX Shooting Peach so that she can land a huge punish and put Mika in a perilous situation. These are just two basic examples. Ibuki's Vtrigger has 7 frames of startup, which is very good for a Vtrigger, and has myriad ways it can be used. If Ibuki uses Vtrigger 2 to start off a combo, then it will probably lead to an abundance of damage due to not being affected by the Vtrigger scaling. Nevertheless, when Fuma Shuriken is available, the ball is in Ibuki's court. The fifth and final point I want to mention for this video will be something I don't think I've done a video on before, and that is how Mika goes about punishing Ibuki's gliding attack, Nobusuma. Nobusuma, which some people refer to as the Kite Move, has been with Ibuki ever since she arrived in Season 1 of Street Fighter V. As soon as Ibuki takes to the air, by pressing 2 kick buttons, Ibuki will stay airborne for a short period of time and go to the other side of the opponent. And on landing, Ibuki can come down with a button, though you seldom see this happen. Now when it comes to punishing Nobusuma, the go-to option for Mika should be EX Wingless Airplane. As soon as you see Ibuki jump, you may have the intention of anti-airing with crouching medium punch, because you assume a regular jump is coming. But for the most part that will whiff and Ibuki would have escaped. But with the EX wingless airplane, you can catch Ibuki and get a setup afterwards. A prime example would be if Mika goes for a meaty throw after a wingless airplane or a brimstone and Ibuki jumps to avoid a grab and uses the kite to escape. Now if Mika has Vtrigger 1 available, then she can use Nadeshiko to swat Ibuki out of the sky and net more damage, though she needs meter to make it count properly. With the right resources, she can take off about a third of Ibuki's vitality. All in all, this is some situational tech, and Ibuki players will only really use this to escape Mika's corner shenanigans. It's a safer option than EX Kazekiri on Wake Up. I have shown you some solutions, but it's up to you, however, to prepare for it. And that's pretty much it for the video, people. Hopefully by watching this, you now understand the Mika-Ibuki matchup a little better than you did before. In my personal opinion, I think Ibuki wins the matchup, but Mika can have her good days against Ibuki. Ibuki has the superior normals and has a better grounded toolset overall, making the ground game extremely hard for Mika. She also has better defensive options than Mika, making it easier to avoid or escape certain situations that are conducive to Mika. And not to mention, Ibuki can build V-meter way quicker than Mika can. I mean, the list can go on, but I don't want to produce an audiobook regarding this matchup. Just to reiterate, Mika can have her moments against Ibuki. I would say Ibuki wins 6-4. Head into training mode and practice punishing Ibuki's V-Skill, as that will help you out quite a bit. As well as looking into how Mika can utilize her V-Trigger in this matchup, as there's quite a few scenarios Nadeshiko can help out. Also mess around with Ibuki's V-Trigger too, because you are going to need to have a basic understanding of how it works and where Ibuki will most likely use it in the matchup. Let me know how you felt about the video in the comments below. Was the information helpful? Did I miss out something that you felt I should have put in the video? All feedback is greatly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video and have not subscribed to the channel, then why not subscribe? If not, thanks for watching anyway. I'll also leave my other social media outlets in the description below if you want to follow me on those as well. I've made a playlist for these matchup breakdown videos now, so the link to that will be in the description below as well. This has been your boy HC Jammers, and I will see you guys on the next video. So until then, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.